Recording. That's off. That's good to go.
Good? You recording?
Everybody's working.
Alright, so where the hell did you come up with the name for this thing?
The name. It is. Hey, we got you a present for being on our first show here.
On a Rock or something. FUCA. What's the FUCA right there?
FUCA is the gun store that we're sitting in. As you can see, no guns on the wall because after hours and ATF doesn't like when you leave guns on the wall.
Guns lingering around, especially with meth heads creeping around the
Dude, there's a lot of them out here.
Yeah, they're all over the place. They get pushed down. The police will push them down. They just keep pushing them back and forth. They're everywhere.
Yeah, we're in El Cajon, California, which is like, what would you say, 20 minutes east of San Diego City?
Yep, 20 minutes east. We're right by the 8 freeway and the 67, right where it meets, across the street from Parkway Plaza Mall.
You can see a big sign saying guns, so.
Two big signs that say guns now. So
Yeah.
one on the marquee.
It only took a year to get it
Big
on the
time.
marquee.
You know the reason why I came into the store? You had Joe out there one day with his shirt off.
No, he was in a thong, the leopard thong.
Oh, I didn't get to see him that time.
Playing the thong song.
Yeah.
I dyed my hair silver like Cisco.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that's...
So, the shirt that we got you for coming on the show, on a rock or something. I was in the military. I was in the Army. Joe was in the Air Force.
Navy.
You were in the Navy. And apparently Navy never ate any MREs, I guess.
Yeah,
because
fancy Navy. My goodness.
on a rock or
Put the
something,
meals.
if you read the instructions in the MRE, which nobody ever does, it says,
It did say that. Because my buddy and I, remember I gave you the boxes of it?
yep,
I had my buddy Dan's like, on a rock or something. Yeah, you got to break it on a rock to turn
No,
the
so
heat,
you-
right?
So once you break the heat pack, you put your food inside of it
At
put
about a
the
45
heat
degree
underneath
angle.
it, and then you lay it. You have to lay it somewhere. So it says lean on a rock or something.
Okay,
So-
That's a big.
pretty
There's
fun.
actually a story behind that I don't remember about the guys that designed the MREs.
well, I will tell you. So the MRE, if it's kind of like your lungs, if you think about it.
Did you look it up?
No, I know this because I've eaten a bunch of them. I was in the Army.
Okay.
So if you put it in vertical, all the water's at the bottom, and then it only heats up the bottom, right? So it heats the water that heats the food. So if it's at about a 45 degree angle, I believe it's 45 degree angle, it heats the whole part of the food instead of just that part.
How often do you think anyone actually did it that way?
Once you eat a cold one, every time. It don't taste very good cold.
I just fucking ate what I ate. That's.
Which ones did you eat?
We
You
had
remember?
what was it? I think it was like a pasta one.
That's the good one, the penny pasta.
That was a good one. All right, then we didn't heat it up enough, or
You didn't read the
expired or
directions,
something,
man.
They never expire.
But they don't.
No, never.
Well, I got you a shirt with the directions on
Thank
it.
you.
So.
Yeah, on a rock or something.
Do you remember the candy you got in there?
It was a stick of chocolate.
Like a Hershey
Tootsie
bar?
Roll. Tootsie Roll.
Tootsie Roll.
Tootsie Roll, yeah.
I always get Skittles.
Skittles, M&Ms.
M&M's, yeah, that's a good one.
Did you try the peanut butter
No.
or the cheese, the jalapeno cheese?
Jalapeno cheese.
That stuff's good.
You know.
Dude, I was in the Navy. I was on a ship.
They have real food there or what?
You want to call it that? Yeah.
Well, I remember. So hold on. I know. So the Air Force does get their.
We get
Credit
it.
for
Hilton
being-
Hotel. We get it. Yeah.
So no, like the food in the Air
Cadillac
Force.
rental.
Is
The golf course.
Hold on.
Yeah,
So
golf
hold on.
course.
A specific point. I remember basic training. So we get there on Tuesday. You go through all your, when you first get there, whatever that is.
In processing.
In processing. And then all that stuff. So Friday comes along, and it's dinner time, and I go in, and I hear someone in front of the line. Hey, they got steak and lobster here. Thinking they're bullshitting, right? No, steak and fucking lobster. Air Force basic training. That was real thing.
We get steak and lobster and everything maybe once every 2 months.
Got it once a week.
And that was, like, on
basic
deployment.
training. Wasn't even a big deal. But anyway, no. So my point is, so when I was a kid, my stepdad was a MS on submarines. And,
What's the MS?
Mess specialist.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
where you start to lose it after a while.
Yeah.
MS.
Something like
But
that.
I spent a lot of my childhood on Navy ships. We had a lot of friends on ships and specifically on submarines. And even one time I got to go, I was like 12 years old, I got to go on, call it Tiger Cruise, where you go you deploy with the ship, basically. So we went from San Diego to Hawaii and back over 5 or 6 days.
Wait, were you underwater the whole time?
Yeah.
And you know about this stuff?
Tiger Cruise, yeah.
Yeah, and we
I didn't know they did that on submarines. I feel like that's like kind of like a liability thing.
Dude, we ate
A little
like
bit.
kings. It was like the food was never bad. I even got to eat in the officers' mess for one of the dinners, and they had their real fancy stuff.
Okay, but here's the thing: submarines and surface ships, we can get food whenever we want. Submarines are kind of
Yeah, they're limited.
they're limited,
Yeah.
but I'll tell you what, they take so much pride.
Well, they can't just put a crab trap down or something?
No, they can't.
Oh.
But they
The ocean's really deep, man.
no, but submariners take really good or pride in what they do.
Mm-hmm.
So the cooks actually take their time and make sure everyone's happy. Because at the end of the day, what else do you have under the water?
So yeah,
Food and sleep. You know?
they so like the first there's an amount of time where your fresh produce stuff is actually usable, and so they try to use it all to feed the ship, and then after that, that's when you have to go to the preserved stuff, cans and stuff like that. But even then, they try to make sure that it's good. They present it well. They make sure it tastes good, the whole bit. So they are really good about their food and
Well, let me ask you
underwater
this:
warfare.
in the Air Force, did you ever have a bad meal?
Oh yeah.
He is.
Oh yeah.
He is lying to you.
No. So
He
I
is
hold on. So
lying.
I was talking with Corey about this earlier. So there's apparently two massively different worlds in the Air Force. There's the Air Force, then there's Air Force Special Operations. The one I was in, Air Force Special Operations, a lot more like I imagine the real military, where the other one's just a corporation that you dick around in and backstab and all that other nonsense. There were times you're out in the field, you've got I've eaten plenty of MREs in my time, and when I was back home, I cherished the hell out of those meals. Like when you have a mess hall to go to, and we've got tablecloths on the tables and stuff like that. It was phenomenal.
Are you making fun of me because I didn't put the tablecloth on?
Yeah, no, you didn't make the effort, so.
Is it because you don't like me, or?
Can find it.
Oh man,
Yeah.
but
So, yeah, are we gonna actually start the show, or?
Yeah, what are we doing here?
We might as well.
All right,
What time is it?
about that time.
It's well, Lauren texted me, so let's see.
Lauren is his
I know you're
wife.
busy with this. What do you want
He loves dearly.
For now.
well, let's start the show. I just texted her back.
All right.
Okay.
Well. count us in.
1819. Welcome to the show. Under a rock or something. Now, I guess we know what it means.
Yeah, and we're sitting in FU California's studio gunshot.
This is my studio apartment that I live in.
You know what? Here's the thing, right? I saw what this place was a year ago to where you're at now. In the next year, I promise you, you're going to be in like a Target Supercenter.
Well, yeah, we won't be here, hopefully. A Target, that's a little...
Well, let's shoot for Target. Let's get Walmart.
You always shoot for the Target.
Hey-o!
That's good.
But when you first came in, my business partner Gary and I, we had our own guns on the wall.
Gary's a cute guy, right?
Say that again?
Gary's that cute guy?
Yeah.
He's the one with magic fingers.
Ah.
I don't think so.
We'll meet him in another episode.
The ginger. So we had our own guns on the walls because we couldn't get guns yet. We started out of Gary's garage.
Okay.
And, well, let me back up. Yeah, I remember Gary called me one day. He said, hey, I just went to Turner's, and I've been waiting on this gun forever, and they're just dicks. They're just dicks to me. Why are we not, let's just start our own gun store. I'm like, okay. Yeah, let's do it. I had tried to previously, and it didn't really work out. And Gary was kind of, he was in his MBA program at the time, so he was kind of helping me out with some of the stuff, the business plan. Didn't work out, fell through the cracks. So like 5 or 6 years later, calls me because he's pissed off at Turner's. Well, let's not use that word. He's pissed off with a place that rhymes with burners over there, and says, let's do it. And I said, okay, let's do it. So we pay the fee, pay the ATF fee, we do the background checks, we do all this stuff. Then we, of course, run into a multitude of problems where we didn't understand. They don't just put the information online for you to how to start a gun store, because they don't really want you to start a gun store.
Exactly, yeah.
Especially here in California.
So the problems we ran into were, okay, well, you can have a gun store at your house, but you can't sell anything. or the transaction cannot take place at the house.
So you do it in like a shady corner in an alley somewhere.
Okay. Well, what's the definition of transaction? Right? So then we're trying to be lawyers without being lawyers.
What
and,
is it?
taking someone's money and giving them something, basically.
For prostitution.
That's
Could be a transaction.
it could be a
Technically,
transaction.
right?
Yeah.
That's how you go to jail.
We actually found that out just a couple days ago.
Yeah.
What the police
Let's
definition-
not talk about that.
We'll get to that later.
No, go there after.
Just for a quick release. So we, all right, well, great. We got a gun store in your garage. The ATF came out. They interviewed Gary. I actually wasn't there that day. They interviewed Gary for like 6 hours and
Feed him lunch
looked
or
at the
something.
whole place. They're like, okay, looks good. You're good to go. ATF, stamp of approval. Good to go. And then we realized, okay, well, there's also the California DOJ. Forgot about that part. They want their money too. So we pay them. They're the ones with ATF who said you can't do the transactions here. So we had to we were basically just selling guns to friends at this point, friends and family. So I could sell you a gun, but the transaction would have to take place at another gun store. And then they would have to hold the gun for 10 days and then release the gun to you. So, and no other gun stores really like to do that because
Right.
you're taking their business. So then we found this location. We found another location that fell out. Found this location, and we're like, all right, yep, this is huge. How are we going to ever fill this place up? And then we found these things on Craigslist. The guy was closing his business down, retiring, Chula Vista. These things weigh, I think, 1 million pounds apiece.
Really?
Yeah, at least 1 million pounds. They will be staying here if we ever leave. So we brought all this stuff up here, and I remember Gary and I just putting our own guns up on the wall. We had, I don't know, maybe 10.
No, I remember. That's what I'm saying. Like,
And-
I was here when you first pretty much opened.
We were like, what are we going to do? How we're trying to get distributors. People didn't want to talk to us because we're the little guy, right?
Yeah.
So we're
It's usually
trying
how
to
it is in the world.
trying to make a name for ourselves, and then we're trying to get the address changed for the ATF. So the ATF wants the address from Gary's house changed to this location so we can process the transactions.
Mm-hmm.
COVID hits. Took them 6 months.
Okay, so you couldn't sell a gun in those 6 months because of the address.
Took them 6 months.
So how long have you been up and running since then?
We've been at this location for, I think, 13 months now.
Wow.
Yep.
So you've been up and running for about 7 months then.
Well, luckily the landlords worked with us. So we said, we want this place contingent upon all licenses. So they let us get the licenses, and then we started paying rent at that point. But we missed out on 6 months of the biggest gun sales in the history of the world.
Yeah.
A little bit of money. So then we opened right in the middle of COVID, June. And nobody wants to talk to us because everything is allocated. Allocated means, in the gun world, means that, let's say there's another gun store down the street and they do $50,000 a month in gun sales from one distributor. Well, they get the allocated stuff,
Yeah, it's BS, man.
not FU
I
California.
mean, people got to make their money, right? I mean, it's competition.
Yeah,
So I mean, that's the system. But you guys persisted and worked it out.
that's,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
amazing.
it was it was an adventure. It still is.
How far along were you guys when I came along? Like, how long had you guys been open?
I don't know. Maybe about how long have I known you?
Would have been
4 or 5 months.
Yeah, it's been about 5 months.
So we're halfway through, probably.
Jeez,
Yeah.
it was a funny situation. What's the guy's name that was coming in here?
David Bell, Bishop David Bell.
Yeah. So I actually went to school with David.
That's what you were saying the other day.
Yeah, and he it's weird how that worked out. Just that of the students that I was in school with, he was one of 2 or 3 that I went, okay, he's going to be an okay engineer. But outside of that, they're a mess.
And now he's got a great job as
Yeah.
a great engineer.
What happened was he got his job out in
I don't know if
Arizona.
we should talk about where he's at, but
Arizona's a big place.
yeah.
And then I think he told you guys, and he was helping you guys with 3D printing and getting started on that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then he told them that he was moving to Arizona. And then the next day, I was going around to gun shops saying, "Hey, I want to teach people how to 3D print guns." And
With business cards, like, hey,
business cards, yeah.
Like-
And he said, "Hey, our 3D printer's broke. Can you fix it?" Yeah, that's just what I. Yeah.
Okay, that's what Joe does. He's a nerd.
I'm a super nerd. Proudly, I am a gigantic nerd.
Dude, I wish I read books, man.
wow.
I don't read shit. I listen to stuff on audiobooks and watch YouTube videos.
You're welcome, by the way.
No,
So-
seriously, all this stuff, like a lot of this stuff that I do, it's
Well, explain what's going on in these weird
so that obnoxious
mechanical
noise
noises
that
back
can't
here.
stop because it has to finish. So that's a low force stereolithography resin printer. We are currently in kind of a big project. We're
It's a pretty big project.
yeah, except it's a very little one because we're trying to 3D print. Well, yeah, the size overall is going to be fairly small compared to we're 3D printing AR-15s. For now, we're just going to stick with the 22LR chamber, but hopefully we can expand outside of
So
that.
like a 50 DTC, because that's what's allowed in California, right?
Well, more to 5.56.
Yeah.
we're gonna stick
we will
to-
specifically print you.
No,
a
once this shop is
50
bringing millions of
DTC.
dollars a month, that's my gift, okay? That's all I want.
Oh yeah, dude, if we're doing $1 million a month,
I'll
we're-
get you a couple of
yeah,
them.
there's-
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah,
One for each
we're gonna
vehicle.
find a way to put a 50 cal round through a 3D printed barrel.
That'd be
That's
sick.
So explain why we're doing the why you're working on the 22 and what the plans are for it.
Well, I mean, we started with, we're just trying to see how can we make our businesses work together, right? Just for whatever reason, we seem to click well, work well together. So, all right, I've got my
Nobody
thing.
asked me about that. It's
All right,
his own comment.
You'll fucking deal with it.
Yeah, I love you, guys.
Yeah, so I think I passed that initial test because I mean, how many people did you come in here trying to sell you guys stuff?
What
all the time.
was weird was that we had been burnt very badly a few days before you came in.
Yeah.
We got screwed royally, and then you came in, and I don't want to say we blew you off. We listened to you, and then you fixed the thing in the back, and then I went and talked to Gary. Said, hey, there's this dude that was in the Air Force and 3D print stuff, and we got the 3D printer. Oh, and he knows David Bell, and that was
Yeah, it helped.
that's
Yeah, I remember the first time I met Gary. He was his version of friendly. He was a lot of questions, I just looking back on it, he was sussing things out, making sure I
yeah.
wasn't, just trying to scam something. And then he goes, I think he just grabbed the foregrip off the wall. Hey, can you do this? Yeah, no problem. That's just what I do. I came back the next day with an exact replica of the foregrip. And he said, oh, can you make it better? Yep. Came back 2 days later, made some minor adjustments. I made my own, this and that. And then there was someone in the shop. I can't remember who it was, but he was a shooter for a living. And I just said, all right, how would you make this better? And he said, well, extend this, put some knurling on it, push this out a little bit. And I said, okay, I'll be back in 2 days. Came back with product we're actually selling pretty well
yeah.
right now. The
We should have it up on the website soon.
Ergo Boy foregrip, whatever the hell it's called.
All those piled up right there.
Yeah.
Nice job.
This is the OD Green. OD Green. It comes in OD Green, FDE, and black.
What are you selling these for? How much?
$24.99.
Is it?
Yep.
And for comparison, the Magpul one is $30.
And we also have MLOC licensing. So we are licensed with MLOC, which is how that
Mounts is
fits
yeah.
to the rail there. Yep.
Yep.
That's cool. Good job. Congratulations on that.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah, so that turned into, okay, I'm not a fraud trying to steal from you guys. And all right, what can we do now? Well, let's 3D print stuff. And I think we'll get into the adventures some other time, so we can move on to a different topic. But it eventually turned into these two beautiful beasts of printers back here that were just whatever ideas come to mind. All right, let's give it a shot, see what works. And eventually, we've got AR-15s printing that we know with a lot of confidence will work because they've already done it.
Who's going to be the first one to pull the trigger?
Gary. He already did it.
Oh, he did it?
Works.
He,
no way. When did you do that?
Earlier this week, last week.
Oh.
He shot 150 rounds through one of these built up. No signs of stress,
no
or
jams,
cracking or
nothing.
anything.
That's the lower receiver, upper receiver rail.
All FU California.
Yeah.
And it's going to
Firearms
be
Unlimited,
California.
California.
Yeah.
Get that. Write that down.
www.fucalifornia.com.
It's actually, so we can start getting this out there. It's actually Spectre Technology Lab
Oh, no.
in conjunction with Firearms
Collaboration.
Unlimited, in collaboration with Firearms Unlimited.
I think it's so important for businesses who are starting out too. Instead of bringing partners on to get an end goal, to bring people on to help you in avenues where you don't have time or you don't have your expertise in that department, to work together to become one.
Well, so for my side, I actually, about the same time they were starting their company, I had started my own custom engineering and manufacturing company, 3D printing stuff, for various purposes. I printed car parts. I printed like little models.
Can you
for
talk about
people.
those parts you just recently made? Those cheese grater looking things, or no?
What cheese grater looking
Things with the holes in them.
So so early in my career, my engineering career, I worked for a company that built automated surveillance sensors. My job was basically to make sure that the software and hardware could survive anywhere in the world, and for weeks at a time, completely by itself.
Let me pause you here for a second. It seems to be a little bit of a quandary because you, Joe, made something for an automatic surveillance system to spy on us.
Not on us. No, I actually made that. Once I kind of clued into what was going on, I made it pretty clear. I won't let these be deployed. I won't work on something that's going to be deployed in the United States.
Got it.
So these went specifically to, or they were supposed to go specifically to special operators, which, as we said, I have kind of a soft spot for that community. So, hell, I can use my nerdiness to help these guys out. Another application they had for it was basically as like a safety net around forward operating bases. It could tell, the fob when someone was coming, and they could prepare, when these guys are just miles out. So that
I
was
need that in my house.
Yeah.
And how much does that system cost?
Way too much. Way too much.
How much
6
does it
figures.
cost? Oh,
Yeah.
give me a week.
Anyway, so when we were designing the one, I kind of gained a certain level of expertise in, environmental conditions and how to account for them. And one of the things I knew was going to happen, because where's most of our fighting happening? It's happening in the Middle East, where the sun is just there. There's no getting away from it. And so I remember I kept telling them, like, these things are going to overheat. I'm like, wow, no, it's not enough power coming off of them. And I went, no, it's not the power. It's the direct sunlight for weeks at a time. It's going to destroy these things. No, we'll be fine. Okay. And like that's their decision. All I can do is give them the best information I have. So fast forward about 2 years now, they they called me up, said, hey, remember those sensors you designed for us? They seem to be overheating quite a bit because they're in direct sunlight a lot.
Sounds like a government job.
Yeah, imagine that.
I said, okay. Now, kind of funny how this worked out. I foresaw solutions to this right away, and I actually built a solution for this that could attach to what they currently have like a year and a half earlier. And so all I ended up doing was hit and play on my printer, basically. And I went, okay, I'll have them out to you in a couple days.
Like, you spent countless nights, sleepless nights, working
No,
your butt off.
they need to know that I was trying my damnedest to look out for them, and they didn't want to take it. So,
And they paid for it.
oh, they paid for it.
Well, it's the government for you.
Yeah.
That's the yeah. Well, yeah.
They paid for
Okay.
it.
That's a good transition from where it's really hot out to what's going on in the world right now. Let me get this hair out of my mouth first.
Yeah.
How do I get it? Oh, it's mine. Don't worry about it.
That's why I shave my full beard too.
And your tongue.
Yeah, my
just
tongue.
to
I
make
just
sure.
shave no hair in my mouth. Yeah.
What is up with Afghanistan?
What is the deal with Afghanistan? All right, so I mean, how long were you in the service?
4 years.
And did you do any?
Did you take any
Active
boats to
deployments or
Afghanistan?
anything?
We never like docked there, but we floated around in the Red Sea waiting for stuff to pop off. Our ship actually did the Malaysia embassy evacuation. We sent Marines over there. I was on the amphib on the USS San Diego, so we carried 450 sailors and 900 Marines.
I'm gonna look that up on my phone.
That better be correct.
Yeah, LPD 22.
You're out of here.
But basically,
So-
that's all we did.
What? So, as a vet, you were part of the global war on terror and the whole bit. And I mean, how did, to your mind, how did things turn out in Afghanistan?
I don't think there's one person in this world that can tell you it turned out good. Unless you're to tell them.
It turned out great for them.
It turned out really good for them. We got
My
all these
goodness.
nice helicopters and Humvees and tanks.
Bunch of new
and
guns,
great. Yeah.
bunch of new weapons.
All guns that we can't have, but they can have.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yep.
USS San Diego. So what kind of boat is
been on
this?
that
So,
boat.
yeah, I'm sure you
Is
have.
this a frigate?
Yeah.
I don't know what any
Is it a
boats are.
battleship?
It's 684 feet long, 115 foot beam, I believe.
I don't care about any of that.
What kind of
what
ship
does it
It's
do?
a landing plate dock. The whole back opens up.
Can you get a helicopter on there?
And 4 helicopters. In
Oh,
the
that's
back.
cool then.
And then the whole back drops into the water, and we had these big LCACs.
Oh, those.
air cushion.
Yeah, they're up here,
Are those still
up north.
being used?
Oh, I used to piss on them. That's
They
what
actually
brings
use
all
them in. I thought they just went up and played around with them.
No, dude,
Just a
those
big
are
toy.
They took them to they took firefighters to Catalina Island when it was on
How many
fire.
How many people can those things hold?
people.
Yeah, ballpark.
I would say 100
Oh, okay.
standing.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not. It's not like a cruise you're going to sit on all day.
Right,
You
it's for a
literally
couple
go
minutes.
from but they can carry some weight. Our ship held 2, and they can hold everything, man. Pretty cool. Those things powering up and the amount of power those things put out. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's my boat. That's my baby for 4 years.
So what'd you do on it?
What didn't I do on it?
What did you do?
I did everything you can put your mind to on that boat.
Alright.
No, I mean, I went in undesignated, which means you go in with no job. So there's 3 rates in the Navy. There's airmen, enginemen, or airmen, firemen, and seamen.
Seaman.
Ooh. But I basically
Seaman.
yeah,
Just.
seamen. Not Simon.
Can I guess which one you were?
He's got really white teeth, so yeah, we can guess.
No, but basically, I went to the recruiter. It's like, yo, I want to be an MA. I want to be a canine handler. It's like, heck yeah, go take your ASVAB. 3 days later, I came back and I'm like, let's do this, you know? I went to the MEPS, and MEPS is like, hey, you got a 1.5 year wait. I'm like, no, I need to get out of here now. I'm
Yeah.
in Chicago. It's middle of fucking winter. I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of
So
here.
it's nice and warm. You were just chilling.
So I loved it.
Comfortable.
I didn't want to leave. I was like, yo, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And he's like, hey, I got an idea. I can get you in boot camp in 3 weeks. Just go in undesignated, don't have a job. I'm like, what does that entail?
Huh.
Well, when you enter boot camp,
Needs of the Navy.
yeah, you enter boot camp, you go to your ship, and as soon as you show up, you tell them you want to be an MA, and they'll hook it up. I'm like, oh, dude.
How old were you?
Why
How old?
why
How old
doesn't
were
everyone
you?
do this?
Yeah, I was 18, but when I left for boot camp, I just turned 19, so March. So, I mean, basically, my military career was not what I wanted it to be.
Word.
But when you're in the,
I concur.
Yeah, I think I can say that too.
so basically, you go to the ship, not knowing what the hell's going on. You figure out what the hell's going on. Then you realize you're just an E1, and by the time you can get the job you want, you got to wait 2.5 years to rank up. And then when I ranked up, MA wasn't available, and by that time, I'm just like, all right, I'm over it. I got screwed the past 2.5 years. It's 4 years. When deployment came out, my wife Morgan, she said, hey, after you get done for this deployment, the one tour and you're done because I can't do another deployment with you being gone. Which I understood. Cool.
Yeah.
So long story short, I struck logistics for the last 1.5 years in my military career, which is cool, and then kind of just did my own thing after. And 3 years later, here we are sitting here talking about stuff.
Afghanistan's.
Afghanistan.
Let's back up for a second. So let's talk about your wife for a second. So you guys,
One of my wife's?
you're not Taliban,
No.
okay,
It's one of the things he didn't do on the ship.
or Mormon, or any of the other.
Dude, Morgan's the first girl I ever kissed. And here we are, married almost 10 years. Been
With the
with her
baby
for
on the way, huh?
I don't know who the dad is, though.
Yeah.
So once we figure that, I mean, I'm still going to be a good stepfather.
Mhm. Good for you.
So it'd be one of those things where
Takes a lot of character.
if it comes out white and has, like, you know.
There's just a dumb face on it.
Yeah, then I know it's
Son!
has a mullet.
It comes out with a mullet.
Dude,
Well,
she hates it. I love it. Every day, you gonna shave that thing? No, babe. It's
So,
going out of my butt.
Which thing?
so fun story on that. When I was I was stationed at Eglin Air Force Base in Fort Walton Beach, Florida.
Okay.
So I got there in April of 2003.
I think he wasn't born yet.
It's quite possible. I think it was June. I started seeing these signs for Mullet Festival. And I was like, hell yes. This is going to be awesome. I couldn't wait. It was like a month away. Every day when I was driving to work, I'd see that sign, Mullet Days, Mullet Festival's coming up. Turns out, there's a fish called the mullet. And I was hyper disappointed. I was just
Is
bummed.
it hairy or no?
I didn't know. I was so mad I didn't even go.
Oh.
I was like, "Wait, it's a fish. It's not a haircut." Well, I don't want to deal with it then.
Tell James your how you joined the Air Force. Your recruiting story.
This is.
All right. So this sounds a bit more dramatic than it actually is, I guess. So I was a senior in high school on September 11, 2001, and I actually watched the whole thing play out from my AP English class.
Did you have to add AP or did?
Yeah, well, this is kind of relevant to the story. I was
Engineer, class,
I was college bound. Like I was in all advanced classes. I was taking calculus in high school. I think later in my day I was taking AP Art History as a high school course. Yeah.
Can I leave?
Well, hold on. So I saw.
Let me see you draw something.
Draw? No, I don't draw. No. I just study the history of drawing. Anyway, I watched everything
Started
go
with
down,
pencils.
and I was watching the news for the first time in my life because I was a 17-year-old kid, and I just remember, like, I have to do something about this. Like I can't just let this stand. So anyway, I remember on the way to school the next day on September 12th, I just said, all right, I'm gonna go sign up for the military.
I mean, we all felt that way, right?
I was in 4th grade. Where were you?
I think I was a freshman. So we felt the same way. We have to do something. Something has to
Sure.
be done.
And I mean, I think that's why the overwhelming majority of people join the military. Then you realize after 6-10 years, oh, we're not doing shit, and then you get out.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I was on my way to school. I was on the bus, and I just went, all right, I know what I'm going to do. I knew where the recruiting station was, and I just said, okay, got off the bus. I would normally kind of turn left to go to my first class. This one I took a hard right, walked out to the intersection, and beeline for the recruiter station.
Where are you from? Did you already say that?
Yeah, here in San Diego.
This was in San Diego.
Yeah. Now, here's where, like, to my mind, it's still a bit interesting. So I get in. It's probably 8:30 in the morning, something like that. And first place I actually went was the Navy office.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to be a sonarman on submarines. When I was on that Tiger cruise I told you about, I spent 99% of my time in the sonar room. I absolutely loved it. And I went, okay, I remember doing that, how much I liked it. That's what I want to do. The recruiter told me, like, well, we can guarantee you'd be a sonarman, but we can't guarantee you'll be on a submarine. You might end up on a surface ship. And I said, nope, that's not the deal. I don't want to do that. And he said, yeah, it's the best we could do. I said, okay, that's it. And I got up, walked out. So right across the hall was the Marine Corps office. And I said, all right, I'm going to be a Marine. Except the Marines weren't there. Lights were off, door was locked, the whole bit. And I went, well, shit, now what?
The Marines were out to lunch.
So now, keep in mind, so when I was in the Navy office, there's only one other guy in there besides me. Apparently he, which still to this day strikes me as odd. Hearing about, the day after Pearl Harbor, how recruiting stations were flooded, and you would think most places would have been, on September 12 and 13, would have been flooded as well, but it was very odd to me. Anyway, so my next option, I could have turned right, but that would have meant joining the Army, and just fuck that.
Losers join the Army. Okay?
So I turned left
Bunch of losers.
to my last resort, which was the Air Force recruiter. And so he's sitting in his office by himself, filling out paperwork, and his head popped up. Hey, pal.
Hey, somebody's here. Whoa.
Hooray!
Finally.
Yeah, where I was, there wasn't a lot of people that were going to be joining the Air Force. So
No.
he was
364 days since our last enlistee.
So yeah, it was there was it was a bit more to it, but yeah, I think I was I signed my delayed enlistment stuff, a couple weeks later. I had to get emancipated because I was 17 at the time.
Is that where they circumcise you?
No,
It's
emancipated.
when you can't poop.
It's when they take your pants off. No, it's when your parents tell you can be an adult on your own now.
Ah.
And yeah, so anyway, I got emancipated on Christmas Eve, 2001.
Emancipated.
Yeah, and then graduated high school in June, and then July 7, I landed at Lackland Air Force Base to serve my country.
So what did you do?
So I was a guidance and control systems technician for the MC-130E Combat Talon.
Is that a bird?
It's a C-130,
Oh.
but it's a special operations C-130. If you know the
Spooky.
no, that's the gunships. If you know the story of the Delta Force's first mission, Eagle One, that flopped horribly, the two airplanes that were destroyed were combat Talons.
And you're probably not the one working on those?
No, I mean that happened in '79,
This was the
I think.
Iranian hostage
Oh,
scenario.
not that old.
No. But yeah,
That's where that came out of. The Special Operations Aviation Regiment was that Iranian.
yeah, because how thoroughly
What a disaster that
fucked
was.
that up, and
That's usually what we do.
yeah, no, that was particularly bad. But we're not here to talk about military history. But yeah, it was really cool being a part of a plane with a lot of legacy behind it.
So was it a sensor? That C-130 was a sensors. It wasn't a gunship. It was a sensor.
It was not a gunship, so it was built specifically for transporting special operators
Gotcha.
wherever they need to go in the world. There was some other stuff. It was they were fitted with these like parachute booms that would reel out from the wings, so they could refuel helicopters behind them. There was another squadron of we called them Papas, MC-130Ps. That was their only job to do that, just refuel that stuff. But one of the other cool features about that plane was so if you ever see one of these, you'll notice cables that are attached from the nose to the edge of the wings on both sides, and it's got a funny shaped nose. This was the aircraft that was primarily used for what's called the fault and recovery system. You guys familiar with this at all? So what happens is they send a guy into a horrible situation. They've got no way to actually pick him up, and there's no way for him to get out. So he brings along with him a big old bag with probably helium and a balloon. And so when he's ready to go, he fills up that helium balloon. It floats the 200 feet in the air, and then the C-130 comes by, catches that cable, and off he goes, and they reel him in that way. It's something to look into. It's terrifying.
So they just reel his body in?
No. That's no. There's a live person attached, fluttering out on the end of that cable. Apparently it worked. I never heard of anyone actually trying it, but apparently it was a version of successful. So and it may. I mean, the whole time. So the aircraft were all decommissioned. There was like 15 of them, something like that. They were all decommissioned in 2006. But the entire time, from 1963 until 2006, they had this configuration on them all the time. So I never saw the that used, but they always kept it ready to be used. So maybe it was used. I wasn't on every flight on every plane. So
you better top your Army career.
Well,
You better top that. Let's go.
I want to piggyback off of what you just said. So the C-130 comes in and snags somebody from a balloon, and then they hang there flopping around until they can reel them in and then land.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's go back to this Afghanistan conversation, because we all just watched these videos of these C-17s.
Yeah. So why didn't they have those so they can hold on?
I don't think they were anticipating 700 plus people being on C-17s. I actually worked on those when I was in the reserves. That was the aircraft I worked on.
So they're closing the doors on these things. Mm-hmm. People are still climbing in, and they take off. They have Apaches trying to clear the runway, but they're not using their guns.
Because they don't want the airplane.
They're civilians, so they're not just opening fire with a 30mm cannon or a 30mm gun, trying to clear the runway just by flying over it so that C-17 can take off. And they're just surrounded by people, the people hanging on. And then you see the videos a couple days later today. I saw one today. There was a guy, they had a couple thousand feet in the air, guy's still hanging on, just flailing.
Was he alive still? Did he make it?
No.
Oh, okay. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be a hell of a story to tell.
No, and they found, I read an article where they found a hand in the landing gear.
Oh, they found a whole people smushed in the landing gear. There's not a lot of room in there.
Yeah.
They
it makes you go, what the fuck, really?
Yeah. What? I'm sure we all know somebody or have a friend that died, and it's just it's
20 years, 20 plus years, just flushed down the toilet in the matter of 24 hours, which blows my mind. It's not just the money you print more, right? But the fact that American lives were lost, blood was actually poured, just breaks my heart.
I think this past year and a half since COVID started really should have made it just clear to everyone the level of competence of the government, basically.
Incompetence.
Well, that's what I mean. And so the reason I say that, and even we were talking about this the other day. I think it was the day they were first moving into Kabul. I asked you and Gary both. I said, are you guys actually surprised this turned out the way that it did? And the pair of them, they were like, well, yeah. I was just blown away by that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, right? I asked them. I said, so wait, you honestly think in your heart of hearts that someone in the federal government would actually try and do the right thing with this? And that's why they were really devastated by the news, where I was just like, yeah, I saw that coming 5 years ago. Of course it was going to turn out this way,
Well, we saw Benghazi happen, right? And we felt the same way. And then your comments dead on. I mean, how can we saw Benghazi? Mm-hmm. How can we trust them again?
Yeah,
they're not coming. Those jets were ready to go on Italy, to go to Benghazi. There were ODA teams ready to go to get in a C-130 or whatever airplane it was what they had, ready to drop in.
Well, even before that, in Fallujah, like the shitstorm those Marines had to go through. You're going to go through this exceptionally hostile town, door by door, street by street, until
with
it's
very
done,
little training,
with no backup. You and the guy behind you, and that's it. Who the hell comes up with an idea like that? But I mean, seriously, like, it's good, just good on them. They did it. You know what I mean? I don't know how those guys made it through. A lot of them didn't, but the ones that did, well, fuck, man, mad respect. And it just follows on with all this other stuff.
It's fucking failed politicians, man. It just blows my fucking mind. Like, it really does. Like, it's mind blowing that, like, this whole COVID thing, right? If they came out and said, hey, we came out with the vaccine, we think everyone should get it. Okay, cool. Like, just the flu, all the other vaccines, no problem.
Great.
The fact that you got to pay me $100 to go get it and forcing me left and right to go to Walgreens, dude, it fucking pisses me off. Like, that's not the whole COVID thing doesn't piss me off. The whole vaccine. If you want to get it, get it. The fact
that's America.
Yeah, it's America.
Do whatever you want.
The fact that they're telling you to go get it or else. Mm-hmm. Lady, my wife just had her ultrasound. The doctor goes, hey, just so you know, you need a 72-hour vaccine before your wife is due, or a COVID vaccine, or else you're not going to be in the room to see your baby. I said, excuse me? I'm like, so if I don't take the vaccine, what do you mean 72 hours? It needs to be a 72-hour period. So if I go in on Monday, get tested, and she doesn't give birth Wednesday at 1800, and it's Thursday, well, there goes my 72-hour test.
No.
So I'm fucked. I'm going to see my
So you
newborn
just
baby.
keep getting tested. And
Yeah, but now they're telling my wife, hey, you have till September 30th to get the vaccine, or you're going to have to get tested twice a week, making it miserable for them, right?
Yeah.
Get tested twice a week, and then you're going to have to come in and do this and that, this meeting, that meeting. It's like, what? She took care of COVID, really sick COVID patients for the past year and a half without a vaccine, without any bullshit. The CDC changing their minds every 2 fucking minutes, right? But now it's like, no, you need to get it or else it's your job. Like, excuse me?
So you know what?
Like, what fucking world do we live in?
You know what, I'll tell you exactly which one. It's really interesting to me how politicians. So America's been
exclude
around.
themselves from all these.
Well, no, hold on. Follow along with me. So we are very aware of our country's inception. We had a tyrannical government, and we were a rebellious force, and said fuck that. And that's just sort of the identity of Americans. We're a rebellious bunch. For some reason, over these 240 something years, the elected officials haven't figured out you don't want to force Americans to do things.
You can only
Because
stir the
as soon
pot
as-
so
yeah,
much.
as soon as you do, just even if it's good for them, they're going to go, no, I got it. Fuck you, you know. So with the COVID stuff, if this whole time if they would have just said, all right, so here's what we know about it, here's what we don't know. So here's what we're recommending as precautions.
And you make an informed decision.
I don't think anyone would have had a problem with it.
Nope.
And then when the vaccine popped up, all right, guys, here's the data we have on the effectiveness and how we think it's going to work, and here's our testing, and basically just give the information and say, look, it's a really good idea that you guys get this, and then just back the fuck up. I'd say we'd have a 90%
Absolutely.
vaccination rate right now. But
Absolutely.
because there's something that happens, and I think it's the same thing that happens that to people that join the military. You go in with really good intentions, and then you see how shitty it is, and just how just how unorganized and unethical everything is. And so from there you go down your path. Either you say fuck that, I'm out, or you go, well, I'm in it,
Better
so
stay here.
I might as well do what I have to stay in it.
Right.
And that's where people like Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden, they were just like, fuck it, I'm here and I'm staying. So they'll do everything they have to. And just on the other side of that too, it's not just Democrats that are horrible.
No,
It's
I think
all the Republicans and well.
I think it's all politics.
Yeah, so I just want to make that
But
violently clear.
I also think there should be a standard held, right? If you don't do your fucking job, you get fired in the civilian world, right? You get replaced.
Yeah, that doesn't happen in the military or the government.
Right. But there has to be, hey, you got 2 years as congressman, and maybe you can get reelected. After a second reelection, you're done. You bring the new blood in.
Term limits should
all across the board.
Yeah, even for the Supreme Court, I think
Yeah,
there's a
across the
certain
board.
amount of time where you're too embedded, you're just jaded by everything.
Yeah, it needs
it's
to
time
be-
for you to move on.
Get some change in there.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you another story that's kind of along with your pregnancy story here. It's kind of fucked up. I don't really like to talk about it, but my wife had a miscarriage in the middle of COVID. We went to the hospital. I saw the blood test results. I knew what was going on. I didn't want to tell her. I wanted the doctor to tell her, and I wanted to be there for her in the hospital. So we go to. I already knew I was just trying to get her to the hospital, and we get there. They won't let me in. I said, well, there's something going on with the baby. You gotta let me in.
Yeah.
They said, you can't come in. I said, I work at another hospital. Can I just have some professional courtesy? I have my PAPR in the car. I'll wear it. Whatever we need to do here. Can I please just come in and be with my wife for this? And she was already inside. And I was telling the guy, look, I know what's happening. I need to be there for her. And he said, I can't let you in. I said, can you go get your supervisor, please? She comes up, doesn't care. So I go sit in the car for 5 minutes, and I'm trying to think, how can I make this work? Because I'm getting in there. So sitting around. Oh, okay. Well, you can't turn anybody away from an ER, right? So I went back and I said, okay, we got 2 options now. You can let me in, or you can check me in for my migraine, and then I'm going to AMA and you're going to do a shitload of paperwork. Which one's it going to be? And I got in.
I had a buddy of mine, the guy is a fellow that I worked with at the job I told you guys earlier. He had a baby right when COVID was really popping up, and this is just thoroughly fucked up. So apparently, him and his wife both tested positive for COVID, right, as they're going in. So he said they said, all right, you got to go, and we'll take care of this. They tested them both the next day.
Negative.
Both of them tested negative. So he had to miss the birth of his daughter because of this.
Dude, I'm so close to just telling my wife, hey, I'll put the warm water in the bathtub.
Just call all our friends.
I'm an EMT. We got this.
Wait, hold on. You guys have goats, right? You've got to.
Yeah,
it's got to be a similar process.
Don't you have that chain thing that you
Yeah.
Yeah.
a
You
ratchet?
put the head in.
How much different could it really be?
Yeah.
Honestly.
I've seen a couple YouTube videos. They're good. No, but it like you go on Facebook and look at your, like I'm on Loving Alpine page, right? My little community. Same thing. Someone posted, hey, can you go to the meeting or the board meeting for the school? I don't think my kids should be wearing a mask. I don't believe that. The whole fucking city just blew up. He needs to wear a mask. He's putting people's lives at risk. And people are like, well, it's my kid. I can make that decision.
Yeah.
Like,
And your kid can wear a
Right,
mask.
but where are the people who are like, my body, my choice, are the same people who are telling you, hey, get the vaccine or else you kill people. Like, what?
I mean, that dives into some
No, but-
really deep. It's all. So here's what I think this issue is not enough people concentrate on consistency of thought. It's a big thing I've learned, especially over the past couple of years, being a scientist. You do have to be consistent.
A nerd.
Whatever. I
Secret-
told you,
secret squirrel.
I am proud to say, I'll go get that shit tattooed across my
Yeah.
forehead. I'm a proud nerd.
I'll pay for it.
I actually have a tattoo that came from a similar situation. Have you seen this one? The one on my back of my leg, it says, you only YOLO once.
Those your balls?
No.
Oh.
It says, you only YOLO once.
Yeah.
That came from a guy. Someone said that, and I died laughing. And then a buddy of mine, my best friend, he goes, do not get that tattooed on you. And I
2
went.
hours later?
Yeah, it was the next day. And I remember I went to my tattoo guy and told him what I wanted, and he's like, yeah, I'll do it. What the hell does that mean? And I had to explain it to him what it was. And he was like, I don't think you really want to do that. And I was like, I totally want to do that.
You only live once.
Once. You only live once. No, but you only YOLO once.
I think so.
So-
We'll find out. someday.
Something like that.
Eventually.
But you know what, though? Politics aside, I think as long as people can sit down and have a conversation and communicate and say, hey, what are you thinking? What do I think? What's the solution here?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
That-
nobody
that
can
is-
do that anymore.
It's
Hold
sad,
on.
dude.
I want to make the point that is specifically what this podcast, we want this to be.
We are the something.
Yeah, we
Under the rock.
We intend over however long we want to bring in police officers, community activists, Karens.
My mom was always available.
Your mom's a sweetheart. I love your mom.
We intend to bring in people from literally the entire thought spectrum, and we want to have conversations
BLM.
just like this.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Because when you sit at this table, I can assure you that our opinions are probably not that far from each other.
Dude, it's not. I think everyone wants the same thing. They just want to be happy.
Yeah. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
That's it.
And other than that, get the fuck out of my way. Pat
Alright.
said something like that.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
'Cause,
It's bad.
He's right up there.
I would say like I was always raised conservative, and now I'm more independent. I guess you could say more. I hate both sides and just want a solution.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much where people stand. Right?
I think so. I think a lot of Even in this state, you're forced to pick a party. You could be independent, but they want you to pick a party to
Yeah.
be able to vote for certain people.
Yeah.
It's all just a game. It's just a game until I run, and then it won't be.
But could you imagine if the government?
Not yet.
Sorry,
We don't
sorry.
reveal that yet.
If the government
Vote for
put
goat.
if the government put as much effort into this COVID
We're
thing
good to go.
as it did at like the VA, homelessness, can you imagine
Anything.
Yeah.
Anything. If the government put as much
Cancer.
money into Afghanistan,
They put a lot of money into Afghanistan.
Oh,
if they put that much money into our country, Afghanistan would probably be better off today than it was when we started.
I don't. So I guess my position on that, they shouldn't be controlling any of that money. If something's going to get done, it's going to get better. It's going to get done better in the private sector, 100% of the time.
Yes.
There's actually an idea that I kind of came across over the past year or two. There is literally nothing in the history of the United States that the government has taken over, government program, initiative, anything, that is as good as it could have been.
I have one. The DMV. No, I got the post office.
You sure?
Man, hold on.
No.
Let me
You
keep
wanna-
trying
keep
here.
going. 'Cause
The VA, healthcare,
Swing and a miss.
free healthcare.
Yeah. It's free to the guys that are killing themselves in front of the VAs.
Yeah, I guess I can't think of any.
But no, I mean, that what an interesting thought. Since 1776, when the federal government, was coalesced, there has been nothing that they have had their hands in that is as good as it could or should have been. And that I'd say the biggest shining example of that would probably be the space program. Look at what NASA did. They accomplished amazing things, right? But then look at what SpaceX is doing.
in a matter of how many years?
Yeah, all privately funded.
Right.
And look, those ships are gorgeous.
Yeah.
They look wonderful. They look, you look at the space station, the space shuttle. It looks like the inside of a fucking submarine. Honestly, it's wires hanging everywhere. It looks like my garage. Yeah.
So let me ask you this: what's your solution?
I don't think I want to broadcast my.
Well, I got a
No, I mean
solution.
here's specifically what it is. It really does come down to, this is another government controlled thing. It comes down to education, doesn't it? If you have a society that by and large is capable of critical thought, independent critical thought, all of these problems start going away real fast. And where do you get that from? Well, you get it from nerding out on shit, basically. But if you
You have to have good teachers.
Sure, but that starts with your base education.
Mm-hmm.
If you are taught right away to think critically, to think independently,
Which we're not in our school systems
right.
today.
Did you know what credit was your senior year of high school? What credit was?
Or how to do your
like,
taxes.
What the
or
taxes were?
Well, so hold on. So I actually hear that argument a ton, and here's where I was kind of going along the lines. When you're in school, you should be learning mathematics. Okay, you should be learning physics, basically. You should be learning how to communicate effectively. And then you should learn history. Those are the things you really need to be focused on.
So do you think you should just learn math? Here's math, learn it. Or do you think
Well,
you should learn...
so mathematics goes through its steps, don't it? Doesn't it? So you start with counting, right? You learn arithmetic.
So my question as a student, this is why I'm never a very good student. Okay, why am I counting?
you have to learn you have to learn the number system, right?
Why?
Why?
This is how you communicate. So this was where I was actually kind of getting to.
So-
Mathematics is
So we're critical thinking, and then they're telling us to shut up, just do the problem.
Gotcha. I
Like
see.
if they would have started the first week of class, like, hey, this is the reason why we got to teach you math.
Exactly.
We got taxes. We have.
Not
If they were to,
explain it. Why am I doing this?
yeah.
What is this? So you teach me how to count to 100. What does that do for me? I could be out playing in the yard.
Yeah.
That was my disconnect with school from the very beginning, and it never changed. So then you get into biology, chemistry, and I didn't care because why? Am I ever going to dissect a frog in real life?
You didn't care until the teacher put the little flame on the table and then went, and you're like, oh.
Well, no, actually, here's where it came from. We actually had, so I explained to him, what was that, 2 weeks ago? I just laid out to him, here's why atoms bond together. Sounds like a big complicated mess. It's not. in a simple sense. And
We
I saw him light the fuck up.
We
He's
do
like,
a
"Whoa."
3 minute. We do a 3 minute. Joe's got sometimes it's a little longer. Every day, 3 minutes. He teaches us something that I learned in school. I'm sure, but I didn't care because I didn't. Because why?
Yeah.
Why did I need to know this?
And it comes down to so Gary made a comment today that I actually kind of like. Oh, that's sweet of him. Kind of like it was a weird one.
Do you want
So-
to repeat that?
Yeah. So Tom
Let me
was.
let me get the
So
time on
Tom
that.
was trying
Tell
to.
Gary.
He wanted to learn how to measure with the micrometer, and I don't remember what exactly. I don't really pay attention to what Tom does anymore. But then Gary was like, "Hey, Tom, tell Joe what you want to learn. He likes teaching people, so have him teach you." And I went, "Oh, yeah. I guess you guys did pick up on that. I really enjoy teaching people. If I understand how to do something." So here's I guess this is credited to Carl Sagan, but he said, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough.
Which is true.
Okay? So if I can explain something simply, I
be right
want
back.
to explain it to everyone I can. I want everyone to know everything that I know. If I can't explain it simply, it doesn't mean I don't understand it. It just means I don't know how to simplify it in a way to transfer that knowledge to you. And then here's probably the biggest thing I think most people have a really, really hard time with. If I don't know something, I say, yeah, I don't know. There's no shame in not
No,
knowing
that's the thing.
everything.
Yeah, but you're gonna go home and you're gonna learn.
But yeah, so there's the follow-on to that. When I'm teaching my kid something, she just asked me an out of nowhere question, and I go, well, hell, I don't know, but I'll find out and I'll tell you tomorrow. When they ask me, hey, can you do this? No, not yet, but let me dive into it. Let me see what I could do for it. And then I come back the next day and I have an honest answer for them. I've told them they've asked me, hey, can we do this wild project? No. And now I can say it definitively. No, I know I'm not capable of that, or no, that's not physically possible. And it just comes down to kind of, if you separate your knowledge into those bases and just get comfortable with the idea of saying, yeah, I don't know. That is an entirely acceptable answer that's not used nearly enough nowadays.
Yeah. But what do you feel about that all-star wide receiver for the high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's getting an F in French, but now
we had one of those at my school.
right. Now he's ineligible to play, can lose a scholarship, all because of an F in French. You know what I mean? Like I think if this kid has got potential to play D1 sports, or
Well, so this is where we might be diverging a bit. I genuinely don't understand the amount of weight we put on athletics.
Well, in America, it's pretty.
It's huge.
Huge.
I'm well aware, but at the end of the day, you're no matter what sport you're playing, you're an entertainer. That's it. You're not actually contributing anything. You're just entertaining people. Now, some people can use that to kind of better their situation. Maybe you come from a place where your family doesn't go to college, but you just happen to be really good at football, and you get a full ride scholarship to a university. I'll let you guys in on a little secret. The information that they teach, say at MIT, turns out it's the exact same information that they teach at San Diego State University. It's the exact same stuff. The major difference is the quality in teachers. But if you get accepted into fucking bumfuck state wherever, go to that school. You're gonna learn the same stuff. Now, once you learn that stuff, now you have to turn it into something. You have to go into. As you're gathering knowledge, you have to have a plan on how you're going to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Just knowing or just having a skill is pointless unless you know how to actually affect it. You know what I mean? So back to your point. I've seen this a lot, like way too much, where kids get scholarships to play sports, and all right, now they're in college. What do you think most athletes get their degrees in? General studies.
Yeah.
General fucking studies.
Women's studies.
So what that means is they basically just learn the minimum amount, or they go. Actually, no, they don't have to learn anything. They get the minimum grades in a course of study that just says you have a college degree. Bang, that's it. So you just spent. So figure you start when you're 10 years old. You just spent 12 years of your life dedicating to a sport. So now you have a college degree in literally nothing. Now what?
You're not going pro.
Yeah, there's some, I don't know what the statistic
It's not
is,
good.
but it's really small.
Yeah.
Professional sports is, I mean, if you just do the numbers on, say, like a basketball team, there's 12 guys on a basketball team times 30.
Yeah.
That's how many professional basketball players there are. And in the NFL, there's, I think it's 55-man rosters. There's 32 teams. That's how many professional football players there are.
The thing is with sports, it's a discipline thing. I think it's good for people who don't have families who can get a team together and get family camaraderie out of that.
So sports are a phenomenal thing
and great learning lessons.
Yeah. You learn
how to lose real good.
A ton of life lessons from teamwork, how to lose, how to win.
Yeah.
You know,
how to not be an asshole when you win.
Yeah, how to be persistent about things, how to stick with something. I had baseball teams like, I don't want to be on this anymore. Well, you committed to the team, so you have to stay on to the end. Oh, I don't want to, but I'm glad I did. You know, I left it as soon as I could, but I stuck with it till the end. Those are those things you definitely learn. Huh?
Commitment.
Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, I mean,
you're not going to be a pro baseball player.
I imagine there's not going to be people that are going to be thrilled about this, but like, what did Michael Jordan actually do?
Yeah.
He won a lot of basketball games, and he was really entertaining. And he's probably the greatest basketball player that's ever played the game.
He is.
Awesome. What did he actually accomplish?
Made shoes.
Well, he turned his brand into a business. Okay, that had something to do with
He gave lots of Chinese people jobs.
Yeah, he did.
But you guys had that one teacher that you look back and go, I remember that teacher, and he always was good shit.
I actually have a handful of teachers like that. I'll tell you what, the reason I'm as enthusiastic about physics and the reason I know as much as I do about physics is my my physics professor at Cuyamaca, Professor Tibbetts. That guy,
Tibbetts, yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I want his name. I want people to know this guy. He was phenomenal. He made. He basically, like, his general philosophy, he couldn't say this out loud, but I picked up on it pretty quick. Fuck grades. I don't care about grades. Show up to class, learn the information. That's all I care about. And he was great at it.
Do you understand the point that where I have always had a hard time with at school was they give you the material, they want you to learn it, but the very last thing they do is apply it to something. So let's do the Pythagorean theorem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You just taught me the Pythagorean theorem.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I care?
Mm-hmm.
So they do that about everything. Instead of, hey, you could detect where a gunshot came from using this.
How? Right? You got that excitement right at the bat. How?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Show me.
Ahead. Show me how to do it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you show us, and it's like, holy shit.
What else can I do with this?
Yeah.
Instead of, here's a bunch of boring shit. Learn all of this, and then Johnny has 6 apples and Susie has 3. Okay, I don't care about that.
Yeah,
Give me some realistic scenarios so it's interesting to me, so I can say, I might use that someday. Think of what do you do now for work?
Fuck shit up.
Yeah, basically.
Oh wait, that was actually pretty accurate.
Yeah.
So I imagine you use some calculations.
Slopes and depths, yeah. Surface, yeah. I mean,
Wouldn't it have been nice if you paid attention in school, so you could know just a little bit more about what you're doing?
I always liked math, so it wasn't that big of a deal. No, but yeah,
but it would make sense.
I think we very much get your point. If you can relate information in a way that's exciting. To be perfectly honest, I really wish everyone was as excited about learning things as I get. I mean, you've seen me get giddy as hell. I just figure out it turns out a very minor idea, but I worked my ass off and I figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on cloud 9 for the rest of the day. And I really wish more people were like that. It would just make things a lot more fun and just a general higher knowledge base, you know?
The education system is still in the 80s and 70s, right? Would you say?
No, I say it's full on in the 21st century, where they don't care about, do you understand? Can you apply this? They care about, can we check these marks and did we do it politically correct?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, but if you watch any kid, your mom and dad's house, the kids are watching those cartoons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Eyeballs glued.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
you got to incorporate teaching at a young age through cartoons and stuff, so it makes their head go, "Whoa, mommy, daddy, how do you do this?"
So I remember when we were little. How old are you?
28.
Okay, so we're all about the same. Cartoons were the devil, right? Get the kids away from the TV. My daughter's vocabulary has exponentially increased from watching the iPad, from watching TV, and then I'm watching some of this stuff, and some of it's junk, and some of it's this is green and this is blue, and there's a lot of educational stuff on there. But I think for us it was you're gonna burn your eyeballs out watching that stuff. So I think at some point you have to limit screen time. I don't know. You got to get the kids outside.
Yeah,
it can be hard to do. There's a hard balance. And you have an older kid, so what's your position on it?
Well, so I mean, one of the things I stuck with right away,
especially because we got a new dad coming.
So I will never tell a parent how to raise their kid.
No,
ever.
No.
Okay, you are one of 10 people. Because the other 9 people will tell somebody, "Hey, this is how you should do it."
Well, so
you got 2 of us here.
Except
hold on. Except if
for
they're doing
this
something
one
stupid.
Thing. I'm telling you, you have to do this. Okay, you really want to put the time in this. So point one, I never baby talk my daughter. I talk to her just like a person.
Mm-hmm.
She
is
was
a
in the gun
human
store
being.
2 days ago with a whole bunch of guys just bullshitting. So
yeah. So the other thing, here's what you really, really, really want to do this. When your baby's out 3 months old, start signing to them. Okay, stick with it. The next 3 months are going to be frustrating because you're not getting the feedback, but then all of a sudden, right around that 6 month mark, when your baby says, "I'm still hungry" with their hands, oh my goodness, that is the most amazing shit I've ever seen in my life. I couldn't believe that actually worked.
yeah.
And then from there, once she, we practice kind of, you push along a little bit harder or a little bit longer, and then all of a sudden we're having simple but conversations with each other in sign language. Well, then my kid was 9 months old when she started talking.
It's insane how quickly they pick things up.
Yeah,
absolutely insane.
Yeah, seriously. Once she kind of related the information that she could point at a thing, learn the sign. Now she knows how to say it. She'd go, man. We went to the zoo one day. She learned like 100 new words.
Oh yeah,
in one day.
Yeah,
and from there, and
snake bite, and then spider scary.
So like I said, she started talking when she was about 9 months, and then around a year she wasn't signing anymore, but she was just talking regular, or you could understand her. She was talking clearly, and then you saw her in here the other day. She's 10 years old. She talks like an adult almost.
Yeah, but I watched the other day when she asked you a question about the piece you made right there.
Mm-hmm.
This little guy right here, and she asked you, "Dad, what is this for?" And you told her, and then she carried on, "Where does this go?" And then you showed her that, and then you showed her other ways to do it, and instead of just being like, it's a piece for a gun, don't worry about it, right? That's my stepdad. That's probably what you would have said to me. Don't fucking worry about it. But okay, and then you put your head down, and now I don't want to go ask him anything because he's probably not going to teach me anything. It's just tell me to fuck off.
Yep.
You took the time to teach your daughter. She asked you fucking 10 different questions, and you answer them.
I did hit on right away. I was going to be that guy. I will answer every one of your fucking questions.
That's
you will not break me.
No,
we had that.
That's why I can't wait to be a father. It's like, holy shit. Cool. If my kid doesn't want, I do excavating, so that's what I do. I got machines and stuff. But if my kid doesn't want to be in the machine, cool. What do you like? You like cars? Cool.
I want to be in the machine.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But seeing you with your daughter the way
we're actually kind of in the midst of that right now. I know I want to kind of, I guess you call it pigeonhole her into a career field. But it's basically, I want her to get her started on her career now at 10 years old, so that when she's 22 and graduating college, she's got 10 years of experience on everyone else. So, of course, I wanted her to be an engineer. Of course I did. And I really push. I push a lot of science on her. I push a lot of mathematics. We do, probably once a month we do what we call it science days. We just do little physics experiments just because they're fun. She's kind of trending elsewhere. Like she doesn't. I don't think she's going to end up in a STEM field. And what I always told her was, I don't care what field you end up in, you're going to think like a scientist.
She's piggybacking off of your art background.
Yeah. So what she's doing now, she has a natural artistic talent. It's just innate in her. She taught herself how to draw certain Wait, like she came to me. She was like 5 years old. She drew this thing with shadows all over it. I'm like, what? Where the hell did that come from? That's amazing.
There's something over your right shoulder that she made for you.
it's right here. But no, she. I made a deal with her that she wanted to get into graphic design. So I was like, okay, here's the Adobe Suite. You have to show me that you actually want to do this. And I've done things like this with her in the past to kind of do the same thing. And this one she's actually sticking with. So I tell her all the time. So there's the two things that I always tell her. Every time she runs into an issue, I say, well, yes, you have a problem. What do problems have? Solutions. Every problem has a solution. Just nail that into her head. And then I tell her, you don't have to be a scientist as a career, but you're going to think like a scientist all the time. You're going to think critically. And thank goodness, and I appreciate the praises, but it seems like it's paying off, which is fucking awesome. Like, I'm glad the hard work shows.
Well, it does, because I tell you what, when I have my kid, I'm going to take the time, even if I have a shit day, and I just want to be left alone.
Mm-hmm.
You come up to me, ask me a question, I'm going to answer it, and you know what I'm saying? Like, just watching you that day just made me go, damn, he's a good dad.
And even
it can
on
be
that,
hard to do sometimes.
Yeah, there are
I know what I'm
days.
saying, though,
So
like-
when you do take that kind of time with your kid, so like one of the things I do with my kid is we have that trust with us. That when I am having a rough day and I can't just mentally do that, she'll ask a question and say, "Hey, kid, I can't today." She goes, "Okay." That's it. There's like she doesn't feel betrayed or anything like that. She just goes, "All right, Dad's having a hard time, and we'll let him be." I calm down. Takes me an hour, whatever. Come back. Right. What do you want? And we can just jump right back into it. So, you do. You want to. Of course, you want to build trust with your kids, and I think a way to do that, use scientific thinking. Teach your kid things. Take the time.
Yeah, no, because I think everything under the age of like 10, 12, when you're younger, that's what really grooms them to be who they're going to be in the future. Like, I watched my parents struggle ever since I was young, right? Never wanted to see my parents struggle. I never wanted to see myself or my kid to see me struggle. I want them to know how hard I worked to get to where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why you have this beautiful life, is because I worked my ass off, and I didn't want you to be in this position I was in when I was a kid.
It's going to be a tough balance for you, as it is for me right now, and I'm sure it was for you. It is for you now.
Is, yeah.
But when she was younger, that I'm at the hospital. I'm here working. We have the new little one. We've got life, just like everybody, right?
Right.
So it's a tough balance sometimes. Sometimes you just have to walk away. That's the easiest thing to do. Maybe not answer the question right then, and just go. And I don't know. I'm trying to. I never expected to have two girls, ever, and I have two girls.
He's got that.
I got a gun store and two girls. So, and I have two brothers. So I have no idea what I'm doing.
Well, your wife's siblings have at least one sister. So there's
My
that.
wife has a sister. Yes.
Well, no, your wife's siblings have at least one sister, which means females run in the genetic line.
Well, the good news is...
I'm not a scientist, so
The good news is if you stop here, no one will carry your last name.
that's the problem.
Well,
You
is
keep
it
going.
though? You have a very French last name.
This is a quandary we've got here, because you go for the third and you get another girl. Now what do I do?
You go for 4.
You go for the fourth, yeah.
You know how many gun stores I'm gonna have to own?
That's right. Hey, that's why I came along. So we got the printers.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, I'll let Lauren know.
Yeah. You shoot away, buddy.
Fired up.
Well,
So it's hard. It's hard being a having brothers, playing football, guy's guy, being in the military, and then trying to raise 3 girls, and I have no clue what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm trying to raise Chloe as not as a boy, but I'm trying to treat it like, hey, walk it off. You're fine. Get up. Let's go. You're fine. It's bleeding. You're fine. You're gonna live. And I guess I don't know where maybe you could help me out with this. Where's the line? Where do you just treat him like a normal person?
No. Well, I mean, yeah, no. What I mean, I would say you grew up in a family that had sort of, I guess you could call it traditional values.
Yeah.
Men are men, women are women.
Tough love.
Treat your daughter like a woman. Or like a girl, but what I mean is treat her,
But I want her to be. I was telling Lauren or my wife this the other day. I want if the tires if we could get a flat tire, Chloe's coming out with me. We're going to change the tire.
I can tell you from my experience, like a woman can absolutely be feminine and competent, for sure. It sounds like the goal that we want for our female children. We want them to have that sort of female power, that female energy, but not be dependent on anyone to get where they want to go.
Correct.
So females still need resilience. They still need toughness. It's a different kind than us. We suck shit up.
So that's the issue that I'm having right now. The toughness. What female toughness versus male toughness?
There's no way anyone outside of your family, like outside of you and Lauren and the kids, can tell you something like that. Like you have that context.
I know.
You know
you guys know you're gonna have a boy, right?
Huge dick on the ultrasound. Huge.
That's why you think it's not yours.
Yes.
Okay. So
very scary.
Makes sense. Makes sense now. But it's scary, but you figure it out.
I bought him his first rifle.
Yeah.
That's for him, not me.
That is an awesome rifle.
You're gonna shoot him out of the rifle?
He's gonna pull the trigger.
Nice.
At me.
Uh-huh. What was you ever see that? I remember reading a meme online where a guy was like, my kid took his first legit ground ball off the face, and he cried for a little bit, wiped the blood away, and said, more ground balls. And the guy was like, dude, I'm not proud of him. That's a legit alpha male move. He's moving in on my territory.
Yeah, no more ground balls.
That's funny. Oh man. Well, I'm proud of you. Let's see when this gun shop is gone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what. I imagine you and Morgan are going to be around here more.
I hope so.
So
every week now.
What I'm saying is like, all right. Hopefully, part of this podcast is kind of watching how all this shit, our shit, it all just kind of builds into this empire of making stuff.
Like I'll piggyback off what I said earlier.
Yeah.
Empires are not built by one person. Do you get what I'm saying? You got to have a team of people who have the same end goal, and not end goal, but the same path to go down. If we can all piggyback off each other, help each other out, why not?
Yeah.
Well, let's close with talking about vets starting businesses.
Okay.
Do you think it's harder for a vet to start a business than?
Well, let's clarify: veterinarians or veterans?
Vets of which war? No, I'm just service vets.
Here's the thing with veterans, right? It doesn't matter if you served any time at all.
Mm-hmm.
You're already 10 years ahead of people who just went from high school to college. They don't have the people skills that we
street skills,
hands-on skills,
right?
Yeah.
When I got I went into the Navy knowing I don't want to do what everyone else is doing, going to college for 4 years, right? Did 4 years to come back. Guess what? These motherfuckers are doing the same exact thing.
Your friends back home?
Friends back home doing the same.
Same
still
here.
To this day, still doing the same.
Same
shit.
with you, I'm sure.
Right?
I talked to one person from my school. I don't give a shit about anyone else.
But you don't have the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
I learned from the real shitty leaders, and I took from the good. I'm using that in my future. And if you're a shitty leader, I'm taking that too, because that's crap, right? I took the good and the bad. When I came back out here, I realized I don't want to work for anybody.
Yeah.
I'm going to do my own fucking thing. Fuck everybody. Because I went to firefighter, paramedics, all that bullshit.
Yep.
Realized it's just a political game.
That's all it is, yeah.
Right? I said, fuck it, I'm doing my thing. Because in this country, the more you put in, the more you're going to get back.
God, I wish more people knew that.
It's so simple.
Seriously,
like you too. The more you fucking design something, the more detail and shit you put into it, that's what makes your part different from somebody else's part.
Sure.
And people are going to notice that. Holy shit, look at FU, California's little detail. I don't know how that detail is right there.
It's the unlock thing.
Okay, but that's cool.
Anyway.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
That has to be on there legally.
my company, my business, no different from any other excavating company, except for one thing.
You.
Me.
Yeah.
I show up, you tell me what you want to do. I sit there, I take the time to, hey, what other projects do you have going on? Don't spend the money, I'd be completely honest, don't spend the money on having me come out to do this, and then do that, do this, and that.
Well, all right, isn't that probably the actual difference? It's something I noticed also is, here's the thing. You say you're going to do a thing.
I fucking do it.
And
Oh,
then
wait, no, you actually do it?
The thing. Yeah, and that's why,
So you have customer service.
Well, what it comes out, that's why I'm still a part of this. I claimed I could do a thing, and you guys were like, well, yeah, people say they can do things, but then I went, no, here's the thing I said I was going to do. and here it is on time, and so that kind of build off of that. And I think that's going to be the major difference between any successful entrepreneurship and not, is do what you say you're going to do, and do it do your damnedest to get it done every time. And guess what? A big thing that I've learned, it's okay to fuck up sometimes.
Yeah.
Like if
as long as you tell the truth.
Yeah, if you fuck something up on someone's landscaping thing, you just go, hey, I fucked it up. I'm gonna make it right. Plain and simple. It's done. We
do it all the time.
Yeah. I mean, fuck, I'm an engineering student for a long time. It's all mistakes.
You texted me 2 days ago, yesterday, right? You said, hey, I got this logo, your logo, and whatever, right? Mm-hmm. You told me you could do T-shirts. You literally brought me a shirt today with the shit you do. Mm-hmm. Look at it. Yeah. That's what. Now I go, holy shit, Joe wasn't kidding. He could do T-shirts, right? A person coming into your gun shop, 2 days ago. One person doesn't even know anything about guns. You know, Cody's sitting there taking the time out of his day to teach this guy.
Yeah, I forgot you watched that.
And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm a very...
That was like a 30-minute conversation.
Yeah, I'm a very business-oriented person now. I've changed over the past couple of years. Mm-hmm. Now it's all business.
Yeah.
And same thing with my friends now. If you have nothing that can make me a better person, there's no sense of being a part of anything, right?
Yeah.
What do I bring to the table for you? I do social media. That's not something you're familiar with. I get something, you get something, I get ammo. I get to meet Joe, see him with his shirt off, swinging around outside his door.
That's it. We'll get that. So we haven't done it on video yet, but that'll be the next. That'll be the next one.
Not my camera.
But your business,
especially
you take the time out of the day. Bigger gun shops. You want to buy a gun? No, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
You take the time, dude. It's just.
That's why. So we have the same exact business model, and our motto, Gary, and my motto is, we're not dicks.
Yeah.
Just so happens that Dick's happens to be right across the street there. We literally stare at Dick's all day long.
How many yards away is it?
I'm 375 on my thing over there.
Yep, range course is 375.
So it's bringing back customer service. I don't know where it went. What happened to good customer service? What happened to me calling you to come do some work, and you accidentally chip the pool deck, and then you call your buddy and say, hey, I chipped the pool. You come to me immediately and said, hey, I chipped the pool deck. My bad. I'm going to get it taken care of. I got a guy. Don't worry about it. I'm going to get everything fixed. We'll get it done. And you get it done.
Yep.
We've had ARs that have gone out and they didn't cycle correctly. They bring them back in. We take them to go test fire again. Sometimes it's just a little set screw. It's something simple. We'll Loctite it so it won't come out. We'll go test fire it again. We'll bring it back. We'll give them a couple boxes of ammo. Just owning your mistakes and being a normal person.
Dude, not like that anymore.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying, it's very hard to find people who are like-minded. That's why I see, me and you guys, actually sitting down and having a conversation with you guys. I want to be here every other week. When I'm bored and not doing anything at home, I want to be here picking your brain. Hey, Joe, show me how to use that damn thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's just, again, it's all about surround yourself with people who are like-minded.
How many times did we hear that growing up?
Dude, I'm 28 years old and I just figured it out.
Yeah, and it's just now starting to click.
Yeah.
You are a product of.
We tell Tom, we tell Tom that every day.
Oh, that poor kid. He's not. I hope he's not 10 years before things click for him. Seriously, so I spent.
Tom is our intern, by the way.
When we were at our different place with all the manufacturing stuff, Tom, come on in, spend a couple days. I'm gonna teach you everything you need to know. He wanted to be a machinist and 3D printer and learn how to do CAD. Tom, come on in, man. I'm gonna teach you everything you need to know. I think it was the second day. Tom, I need to know where your math is at. Can you do this very basic? Can you divide fractions? I set the thing in front of him. I thought he was gonna crumble, physically fall over. No, I don't know how to do that. And I'm thinking, okay, my 10-year-old does this. No problem. Shit, what do? Do I beat up Tom for it? Nope. All right, Tom, here's what you're going to do. I need you to go home, watch these videos. I'm going to teach you the math that you need to know. Now, here's where the problem came in. Tom, do you watch those videos? Oh, no, I got high, man. Fuck. Okay. So, all right, so let's try it again. Here, watch these videos, do this stuff. Tom, did you do the stuff? No, I was hanging out with my friends. All right, I'm out.
That's 18-year-old for you.
Yeah, it's a bummer to see. something that really.
I wonder if it's the same situation that I had.
Yeah.
Is he not seeing why am I doing this?
Sure.
What is this
Except-
going to What is
hold
this
on.
going to show me?
Except the first day Tom was over at the other place, I sat down with him for a good hour and just laid it out to him. And I just out and told him, look, dude, you're useless to me. You're not making me any money. You're not helping me at all. I'm just here to teach you how to do this stuff so that eventually you can do this. I don't expect anything out of you except for effort. That's all I care about. You're going to fuck everything up. You're not going to do it right. But all I want out of you is effort.
Try.
And he gave me 0. And I said, okay. I can't make you want to better yourself. I can help you, but I can't make you do it. So,
Same thing I'm pretty good when I'm in. Everyone wants to work. Everyone sees the nice truck I have and everything. It's like, yeah, work. Come to work with me. All right. They show up. They bust their butt for 2 days. I'm thinking, all right, this guy's legit. Third, fourth, fifth day come.
Now they're sore.
Now they're sore. They're coming in drunk. And how am I going to put you in an $80,000 machine being, hungover?
Yep.
Sorry, it's not going to work out. What do you mean it's not going to work out? I need somebody that's going to better my company. There's my name on the company.
Yep. Your name, your liability,
Exactly. It's
your livelihood.
And I don't know if it's just the water that out here in Southern California.
must be.
It has to be. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I think it's a different climate, different world we're living in. But it's our job to adapt and overcome, I guess. I mean, what else can we do?
That's it.
That's it.
all right, gents.
Yeah, thanks for
Ready
having
to
me, man.
Wrap it up.
Thanks for coming by.
I want to be on the podcast every time. What the hell?
I'm sure we work something out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess
I know,
that's,
guy.
35%.
I guess that wraps up episode 1 of On a Rock or Something. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.